Good morning. Yes, we are going to discuss about the correlation and sampling theorem. Already in the last three classes, we discussed about the what is correlation, what is autocorrelation, what is cross correlation, what is the relation between autocorrelation and cross correlation. Okay, what are the properties of correlation and what is the energy density spectrum, what is the power density spectrum, what is Parshall's theorem. Okay, how to detect a periodic signal in the presence of noise by correlation, and finally extraction of signal from noise by filtering. So here the correlation and filtering are the two techniques to detect the periodic signal. Okay, let us overview all these things. Okay, so first of all, correlation is nothing but comparison of two signals. Either we can compare two different signals or the signal with itself only. If you compare a signal with a different signal, then that is called cross correlation. If we compare a signal with itself, is called autocorrelation, right? So correlation means it is nothing but the comparison of too many signals. Okay, comparison of one or more signals. Okay, so here comparison may be based upon the amount of component of one waveform contained in the other waveform. It is nothing but similarity, that is analogy of one signal. What is meant by analogy? Analogy or similarity will compare one signal along with another signal, one signal along with another signal. So the same concept was studied in our first unit. Okay, suppose if you take x1 of t and x2 of t are two signals or two systems, then if these two are orthogonal to each other, then there exists these two signals will satisfy the condition C12 is equal to integral T1 to T to x1 of t x2 of t dt by integral T1 to T to x2 square t dt. So if C12 is equal to 0, then the numerator term will become 0. Then we can say that the two signals x1 of t and x2 of t are orthogonal signals, as these two are orthogonal to each other. So comparison is completely depends on the numerator of the equation number 1, that is integral t1 to t2 x1 of t x2 of t dt, which is equal to 0, right? So here x1 of t and x2 of t, as per the waveform is concerned, both signals are same, but there is a time delay between these two signals. X1 of t, here x2 of t is delayed by capital T seconds. So x1 of t as per the waveform is concerned, so x1 of t and x2 of t both are sinusoidal signals only, but x2 of t is delayed by capital T seconds here. Okay, so here it is these two signals are compared over the entire interval minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, right? So suppose if we take, if these two signals are in order to set the similarity between these two signals, we must shift one waveform with respect to the other by various amounts. So test integral, that is varying from minus infinity to infinity, is modified as I12 of tau is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of t x2 of t minus tau dt. So this is nothing but correlation or cross correlation function. Okay, so this is the measure of similarity between two different signals. Cross correlation provides the measure of similarity between two different signals. Okay, oh, suppose if we shift the function x1 of t by an amount tau in the negative direction or positive direction, or we can shift x2 of t by the same amount in the positive direction or negative direction, then these correlation function can be described like this. J12 of tau is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t plus tau into x2 of t dt, or x1 of t into x2 of t plus tau or t minus tau dt, right? So here 5 and 6 equation shows the mathematical expression for the cross correlation. Okay, from these two expressions we can write J12 of tau is equal to J21 of minus tau. Okay, next coming to the autocorrelation. What is meant by autocorrelation? As per the definition, as per the definition of autocorrelation is concerned, here we are comparing the signal with itself only. Here x1 of t is compared with x1 of t itself only. That's why the autocorrelation function is denoted by j11 of tau, that is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t minus tau d tau, or we can write this as x1 of t plus tau into x1 of t dt. From this mathematical relation, we can say that j11 of tau is equal to j11 of minus tau. So suppose j11 of tau is the real signal, then j11 of minus tau is nothing but it's a mirror image, or it is also called as a even function. So if j11 of tau is equal to j11 of minus tau, then it is called even function. So we can say that autocorrelation function is an even function of tau, because j11 of tau is equal to j11 of minus tau. Okay. Next, coming to the relation between correlation and convolution. How the convolution is defined: x1 of t convolved with x2 of t is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of tau into x2 of x, or x1 of t into x2 of t minus tau d tau. That is the correlation function. No, convolution function. How this convolution is related to correlation? Already correlation is defined as integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of tau into x2 of t minus tau dt, right? So these two are related as if one of the signal is an even signal. Suppose x1 of t and x2 of t signals are there. If one of the signal is an even signal, then correlation and convolution both are identical. So if x1 of t becomes even signal, means it is represented as x1 of minus t. Okay, x2 of t is original signal, or we can represent as x1 of t, and even signal of x2 of t is x2 of minus t. Okay, so O12 of t is nothing but the convolution, J12 of tau is nothing but the correlation. So both are identical. If one of the function is an even function, then both are identical. Okay, so you can say that j11 of tau is equal to x1 of t converted with x1 of minus t at t equal to tau, which is equal to rho 11 of tau. This is this is convolution function, this is correlation function. Both are identical if one of the function becomes an even function. Here also in cross correlation also, if one of the function is an even function, then we can say that correlation and convolution are identical. Okay, right? So in the both cases, an autocorrelation as well as cross correlation, both are same concept. That is, if one of the function is an even function, then correlation and convolution both are identical in the case of autocorrelation as well as cross correlation. Okay, so next, coming to the properties of correlation function. Properties of correlation functions. So convolution in time domain becomes multiplication in frequency domain. As we already know in our earlier topics, that is a convolution in time domain becomes multiplication, simple multiplication in frequency domain. So suppose if you take the Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega, and Fourier transform of x of minus t is x of minus omega. How it is defined? X of omega is nothing but Fourier transform of x of t, that is represented as minus infinity to infinity integral minus infinity to infinity x of t into e power minus j omega t dt. Similarly, x of minus omega is defined as integral minus infinity to infinity x of minus t into e power j omega t dt, right? So j12 of tau is equal to x1 of t convolved with x2 of minus t. In frequency domain, it will become x1 of omega into x2 of minus omega. Similarly, j21 of tau is equal to x2 of t convolved with x1 of minus t, or in frequency domain it will become x2 of omega into x1 of minus omega. So J11, this is autocorrelation. Autocorrelation is nothing but x1 of t converted with x1 of minus t. In frequency domain, it is x1 of omega into x1 of minus omega, right? So that is nothing but mod x1 of omega square. It is nothing but energy density spectrum mod x1 of omega square, that is equal to pi times of energy of the signal x1 of t, that is E of x1, that is represented by E of x1. So a mod of x1 of omega square is equal to pi into E of x1, where E of x1 is energy of the signal x1 of t, which is represented as 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity mod x1 of omega square d omega. Okay, so mod x1 of omega square is equal to pi times of E of x1. Okay, that is x of omega into x of minus omega. Okay, right? So that is nothing but integral minus infinity infinity j11 of tau into e power minus j omega tau d tau, right? It follows that Fourier transform of j11 of t yields 5 times the energy density spectrum of x1 of t. That is Fourier transform of j11 of t is integral minus infinity to infinity j11 of tau into e power minus j omega tau d tau, that is the Fourier transform equation. So that is nothing but mod x1 of omega square, mod x1 of omega square. So Fourier transform of autocorrelation function, that is j11 of t is equal to pi times of energy of the signal x1 of t, that is represented by E of x1, 5 times of E of x1. This is nothing but energy density spectrum. So energy density spectrum, it was already discussed. Okay, energy density spectrum. Okay, as we already know in the earlier topics only. See, energy is for non-periodic signals. Non-periodic signals are called energy signals. So energy is calculated for non-periodic signals. Okay, so E is defined as limit t tends to infinity integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 x square t dt. So this is energy of the signal x of t, right? So discrete time signals also, it is x square of n. So inverse Fourier transform of x of omega is nothing but 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into e power j omega t d omega, right? So energy is defined as integral minus infinity to infinity x square t dt. Here we are writing x square of t dt as x of t into x of t. So x of t is nothing but inverse Fourier transform of x of omega. So its formula is 1 by 2 pi into integral minus infinity to infinity x of omega into e power j omega t d omega. Replace one of the x of t by this equation number 1. Okay, by interchanging the order of integration, we will get E equal to 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square d omega, or omega is replaced by 2 pi f, then it will become integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square df. This is nothing but energy density spectrum. Okay, next interpretation of the energy density, as we already discussed in the earlier class. Okay, these are the waveforms f of t and its spectral density function and its energy density spectrum are like this. Okay, next coming to the power density spectrum. Okay, power density spectrum. So power density spectrum is for periodic signals. Periodic signals are called power signals. So power is calculated for periodic signals. So it is represented as limit t tends to infinity 1 by t integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 mod x of t square dt. This is also called as mean square value of x of t, that is x square t bar. Okay, so power density spectrum, or it is also called as mean square value of x of t, that is x square of t bar. So it is mathematically represented as x square of t bar is equal to p is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 by t into integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 mod x of t square dt. So it is for finite interval. So it can be extended to infinite interval also, that is minus infinity to infinity also. Okay, so Parseval's theorem already discussed, uh, that is E equal to integral minus infinity 1 by 2 pi into integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square d omega. If omega is replaced by 2 pi f, then it will become integral minus infinity to infinity mod x of omega square df. Okay, this is energy density spectrum. Next we will see the relation between, we discussed the relation between autocorrelation and energy density spectrum. Okay, autocorrelation and energy density spectrum. So that was a Fourier transform of autocorrelation function is nothing but x1 of omega into x1 of minus omega. That is in frequency domain. The uh, convolution in time domain becomes simple multiplication in frequency domain. Okay. So what is Fourier transform of j11 of tau? That is integral minus infinity to infinity j11 of tau into e power minus j omega tau d tau, right? So what is the value of mm, j11 of tau? j11 of tau is according to equation number 1. It is x1 of t into x1 of minus t into e power minus j omega tau d tau. But x1 of t convolved with x1 of minus t is nothing but integral minus infinity to infinity x1 of t into x1 of t minus tau dt. So at the place of x1 of t convolved with the x1 of minus t, replace this expression and interchanging the order of integration, we will get this expression. So this term is nothing but this is the frequency time shifting property, time delay property. So time shifting property becomes e power minus j omega t, right? E power minus j omega t into x1 of omega. So this expression was replaced by e power minus j omega t into dt, right? So it will become x1 of omega into x1 of minus omega, right? If tau equal to 0, then it will become x1 square t dt, integral minus infinity to infinity. That is nothing but energy of the signal, energy of the signal. Okay, tau equal to 0. So tau equal to 0 means, so it will become the correlation, autocorrelation function becomes energy of the signal x1 of t. Autocorrelation function becomes energy of the signal x1 of t when the parameter tau is equal to 0. Next, properties of correlation are as follows. So j11 of 0 is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity x1 square t dt. So at tau equal to 0, actually this is j11 of tau equal to. So at tau equal to 0, it will become the energy of the signal x1 of t. And j11 of 0 is greater than mod j11 of tau. Here tau is not equal to 0. Then it is an even function. Autocorrelation function is an even function. J11 of tau is equal to J11 of minus tau. Next property is J11 of tau. The Fourier transform of J11 of tau is equal to mod of x1 of omega square, or which is equal to 5 times of energy of the signal x1 of t. This is nothing but energy density spectrum or Parseval's theorem. Next, J11 of tau, Fourier transform of J12 of tau is nothing but the multiplication of x1 of omega into x2 of minus omega. Our last property, J12 of tau is equal to J21 of minus tau. Okay, so these are the proofs related to the above properties. Okay, these were already discussed in earlier classes. Okay, next this is the cross correlation between the two functions. So we have to find out the cross correlation between the two functions. Okay, so in multiplication frequency domain, it will become multiplication multiplied. So these two will be multiplied. Finally it will get the answer as j12 of tau is equal to e power minus j omega tau into e power minus j omega tau into pi of delta omega plus 1 by j omega whole square. Okay. Next, detection of the periodic signals in the presence of noise by correlation. So using the correlation, we can detect the periodic signals even though these periodic signals are masked by noise. Okay, so this is one of the technique, correlation technique, and another one is filtering technique. Okay, so it is a powerful tool in the solution of the above problem. So here, but it is applicable for both autocorrelation as well as cross correlation functions. Here, let us we consider S of t is a periodic signal and N of t is a noise signal. Then the correlation of these two signals is nothing but limit t tends to infinity 1 by t into integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 s of t into n of t minus tau dt, which is equal to 0 for all values of tau. Okay, that is represented as Sn of tau is equal to 0. This is cross correlation, detection of cross correlation function. Okay. Next, detection by autocorrelation. Autocorrelation in autocorrelation. So here S of t is periodic signal and N of t is noise signal, and received signal can be represented by f of t, which is nothing but sum of the periodic signal and noise signal. Okay, let JFF of tau, JSS of tau, and JNN of tau. These are the autocorrelation functions of f of t, s of t, and n of t respectively. Then JFF of tau can be represented as limit t tends to infinity 1 by t into integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 f of t into f of t minus tau dt. Okay, right? So what is f of t? That is combination of s of t and n, s of t plus n of t. So replace s of t plus n of t in the place of f of t. So and doing some simple multiplications. So we will get the resultant is jss of tau plus jnn of tau plus jsn of tau plus jns of tau. Here sn of tau and ns of there is no correlation between these two signals. These two are uncorrelated signals. So these two signals are equal to 0, and finally it will become JF of tau is equal to JSS of tau plus JNN of tau. So here the periodic signal JSS of tau is a periodic signal, JNN of tau is the noise signal. So this periodic signal JSS of tau can be masked with the noise signal JNN of tau, and it can be detected as a periodic signal, resultant periodic signal as JFF of tau by using the autocorrelation. So autocorrelation function of a periodic signal masked by noise. Now next, detection by cross correlation. Cross correlation. So here we are taking f of t as the received signal is a combination of periodic signal and noise signal, that is s of t plus n of t, right? And c of t is the noise signal here. So the cross correlation of the resultant signal f of t and c of t can be represented as limit t tends to infinity 1 by t into integral minus t by 2 to plus t by 2 f of t into c of t minus tau dt. Here f of t is nothing but combination of s of t and n of t, right? By doing the simple multiplication, we will get jsc of tau plus jnc of tau, right? So, but jnc of tau is nothing but the uncorrelated noise signal. So, so that's why it is equal to 0. So jfc of tau is equal to jsc of tau. So this is the detection of the periodic signal using correlation technique. Okay, using the correlation technique. Right, like this, we can detect the periodic signal using autocorrelation as well as cross correlation functions in the presence of noise. Next technique is filtering technique. Extraction of a signal from noise by filtering. So this is one of the another technique. Either earlier we discussed about the correlation technique, that is very powerful technique, and the second one is filtering technique. Okay, filtering technique. Correlation technique is a means of extraction of a given signal in the time domain, whereas frequency domain, it is very easier one, right? So see the relation between correlation and filtering, that is see here. That is the relation between the correlation, and this is the relation between correlation and filtering. Okay, so this is about the detection of the periodic signal in the presence of noise by correlation technique as well as filtering techniques. So correlation technique is nothing but with respect to time domain we can detect the periodic signal, and filtering technique means with respect to frequency domain we can detect the periodic signal in the presence of noise. So this today's session was completed. So in the next class we will discuss about the next topic, that is sampling theorem. Okay, thank you.